Eala wins SEA Games tennis gold, ends long drought for peach. Manila, Philippines. Eala capped a banner year wearing a Philippine jersey, winning the country's first Southeast Asian Games women's tennis singles gold in 26 years. Eala stamped her class and lasted home bet Maninkaya Sawanki, 6-1, 6-2, to rule the 33rd SEA Games and deliver the historic gold in front of Filipino fans cheering on Thursday at National Tennis Development Center in Nonthaburi, Thailand. Live, Eala vs Maninkaya Sawanki, SEA Games 2025 tennis final. After dominating the opening set, Eala had to overcome a challenging second frame, where she complained about the calls of the linesman and found herself tied at 2-2 against Sawanki. But the Team Philippines flag bearer displayed grace under pressure, winning 4 straight games. Tied at 30 in the 8th game, Eala scored off a strong backhand to take the lead, followed by a fault from Sawanki to complete her historic campaign. After clinching the win, Eala hugged her parents, ran around the court with the Philippine flag, and celebrated with the Philippine national tennis team. The 20-year-old player dominated right from the get-go with a 3-0 start before Sawanki stopped the bleeding. Eala got the better of the tie in the last 3 games to draw the first blood. Eala became the 3rd Filipino to win a gold medal in women's tennis singles, joining an elite group of Pia Tamayo, who won in 1981 Manila Games, and Maricris Fernandez in the 1999 Brunei edition. Before Eala, the last tennis singles gold for Team Philippines was delivered by Cecil Mamiat in the men's division when he won the last of his three-peat in 2009. It was a great end to the year for the Filipino tennis ace. Start with her dream semifinal run in the Miami Open, where she took down 3 Grand Slam champions to earn main draw berths in the French Open, Wimbledon, and US Open, where she earned her first win. The Rafa Nadal Academy graduate also won her first Women's Tennis Association crown in the Guadalajara 125 Open in September and made a new career-high world ranking of number 50 last month. Eala finished with a gold and a pair of bronze from the mixed doubles and team event in this year's SEA Games. She and Nino Alcantara fell to home bets Patron Cheapchandage and Poet Sornlaksip in the mixed doubles semifinal, 7-5, 5-7, 7-10. She also received a medal from the team event, where she was listed but did not see action, with Shara Rivera, Alexa Miliam, Teniel Mides, and Steffi Aludo. It was Eala's second SEA Games stint. She won 3 bronze medals in her debut at the 2021 Vietnam SEA Games. For years, Philippine tennis lived in the margins of the nation's sporting consciousness, quiet, persistent, and often overshadowed by louder arenas and brighter spotlights. Courts baked under the tropical sun bore witness to countless rallies that never made headlines, to dreams that were nurtured without promise of applause. Then, on a humid Southeast Asian afternoon, a young woman with calm eyes and fearless strokes rewrote the ending. Alexandra Eala lifted her racket, breathed in the moment, and struck more than a winning shot. She struck history. When Eala clinched the SEA Games tennis gold, it was not just a victory measured by sets and points. It was the end of a long drought for Philippine tennis, a drought that had stretched across generations, testing patience, faith, and belief. Gold had been elusive, almost mythical, spoken of in memories and old newspaper clippings. Now it shimmered again, real and undeniable, hanging from the neck of a teenager who carried the weight of a nation with grace. The silence before the cheers. To understand the magnitude of Eala's triumph, one must understand the silence that came before it. Philippine tennis had known glory before, but the years that followed were marked by near misses and rebuilding. Courts were often empty of crowds, players trained without certainty, and victories, when they came, rarely echoed beyond the tennis community. Yet, tennis people remembered. Coaches spoke of past champions with reverence. Parents brought their children to courts believing that, someday, one of them would rise again. That hope never fully died. It simply waited. Eala grew up in that waiting. From a young age, she played with a maturity that seemed borrowed from the future. Her strokes were clean, her footwork precise, but it was her composure that stood out most. While others chased points, Eala constructed them. While others reacted, she anticipated. Even as she trained abroad and competed on global junior stages, She carried with her an invisible thread connecting her back to home. The SEA Games would be different. This was not just another tournament. This was regional pride, national history, and unfinished business converging on one court. A match bigger than a medal. The final was tense, every rally charged with meaning. Each bounce of the ball sounded louder than the last. Across the net stood an opponent equally hungry, equally determined. The crowd felt it, the kind of match where momentum shifts like a tide, where every unforced error tightens the chest and every winner loosens it again. Eala did not rush. She played with patience beyond her years, absorbing pressure, turning defense into offense, and trusting her training when it mattered most. When points grew long, she grew steadier. When the match demanded courage, she answered without hesitation. And when the final point arrived, when the ball landed in and the realization struck, time seemed to pause. The drought was over. Tears, flags, and a new chapter. As the Philippine flag rose and the national anthem filled the venue, emotions spilled freely. For Eala, it was the culmination of years of sacrifice, long days away from family, relentless training, and the quiet burden of expectation. For Philippine tennis, it was renewal. Gold does something powerful. It validates the unseen work. It tells young players on cracked courts and borrowed rackets that the path is real. It tells coaches that their persistence matters. It tells a nation that patience, when paired with belief, can still be rewarded. Eala stood on the podium not just as a champion, but as a bridge between past and future, between what Philippine tennis had been and what it could become. More than a win. What made Eala's SEA Games victory truly special was not just that she won, but how she won. With humility. With clarity. With an understanding that she was part of something larger than herself. In her interviews, she spoke of gratitude toward her team, her family, and the country she represented. There was no boastfulness, only quiet pride. It was the voice of an athlete who knew that this gold medal was not an ending, but a beginning. Young players watched and saw themselves reflected. Not a distant superstar, but a Filipino athlete who dared to dream beyond limitations. Someone who proved that world-class excellence could wear Philippine colors without apology.